Welcome back, Superstar. We are part 2 here with Keith Kohler, financing man, financing expert, talking about our coaching relationship. We just, in part 1, talked about how we met, how we started working together, the marketing strategies that I used to enroll him. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the structures and systems that we put into place for his business and how that has impacted his business over the last 3 years. So what would you say are some of the biggest shifts you've made in your business structure as a result of the work we've done together?
It's massive, Michelle. I mean, before I met you, it was kind of gunshot, right? There was no specific organization that I had. I had this tremendous referral base, which has been huge for me.
So you were getting referrals for financing deals.
Correct.
Right?
Specifically for financing deals. And that's how they knew me. And what I found later, and I know now, is people pigeonholed me or thought I was only one specific thing. And that's because I had never told them how to think about me.
Got it.
Which was a big breakthrough, because now I have my systems, my structure, my marketing, my messaging so compactly structured that now people have a very clear idea of exactly what I do and how I can best work with them and their clients. And that was as a result of working with you. Well,
and to that point, one of the big things you shifted was, it's funny because it's almost paradoxical. You weren't only known for this one little thing, but you do all these other things.
Right.
You help people coaching, mentoring, consulting, lending, financing,
Absolutely.
revising their financials, all that. But now you do all those things, but you've narrowed your focus initially with people that they come in now in one way, only one way.
That's right. And you helped me with that a lot, because I offer two essential programs, right? I have the right financing at the right time, where I help people get specifically the money they need for their businesses. Then I have my retreat program.
Your mentoring, coaching business.
My mentoring, coaching business. And it used to be that I had two different tracks, two different sales tracks. Like, okay, I'm going to have a strategy call to enroll you in this, and I'm going to have a strategy call to enroll you in that. And then you and I had this conversation, I think it was May or June of this year, where you said, wait a minute, Keith, what if it could be just this specific avatar? And that was the massive, huge breakthrough, which is I really serve companies that are in growth mode and who are going to need financing.
Right. So we clarified
the avatar.
Who you focused on, instead of like anybody who needs financing or anybody who needs help with their finances in business. Rather, it's entrepreneurs in growth mode.
Absolutely.
Who are ready to take off and who may or may not realize that they can use financing to fund that journey.
That's it. So what Michelle helped me do is synthesize that message, be very clear on who I wanted. And it's really an energetic shift, because, and I had discounted this in the past until I met Michelle, now I fully embrace it. Once you get clarity and you release the energy that's not serving you or the people not serving you, it's amazing how it all starts to click.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, as a result of being super clear on what I am and what I offer, now everything's exploding.
It's so easy. And on top of that, structures and systems, let's talk about you've embarked on a speaking career now.
I have.
Yay!
It's kind of like coming home for me, because as you may recall, my first career was a classroom teacher.
That's right.
And so being in the classroom for 3 years was 5 speaking engagements per day.
I got it, yes.
And really exciting. And I had to be creative. And now I get to step back into something I really, truly loved. And as a result of working with you, there's no imposter syndrome. There's nothing now holding me back. I did all the work, releasing all those things that were
which we're going to talk about in the next video. We're going to dive into the mindset shifts.
And I had discounted that previously, thinking, well, what is that? Now, having done the work, released it, now I can confidently step into a speaking career, get on the stage, and know I can deliver amazing value there.
So what you're doing, so from a strategy perspective, now you're speaking on the front side of the business.
Absolutely.
And from the speaking, generating opportunities, interests, leads, partnerships, referral marketing partners that lead people into one specific conversation, which is called your financing review.
Your financing review.
Which, by the way, you can check out at yourfinancingreview.com. that call is pretty open-ended. You dig around, poke around, find out what somebody needs and if you're a right fit to support them, and then you make them an offer.
I absolutely do. If I understand that I can create an engagement where I can get them specific financing right now or some point into the future, that triggers the, okay, this is what it looks like the way I work is, and this is what an engagement looks like.
Got it.
And I use, as a result of talking to you, a value-based pricing model. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Some people might need more work and therefore there's more investment with me. Other people might need a little less. And I get to figure that out.
And there's a piece of the upside too, right?
100%.
So if you're going to get somebody $1 million loan, there's a piece of that available, and that's all transparent, which is really important.
That was a big important thing to me, because being super transparent with people, saying, for example, sometimes in certain lending relationships I have, they'll pay me a referral fee.
Okay.
I tell them that
Got
up front. This is exactly what I'm going to be making. It might come from you. It might come from somewhere else. And doing that up front results in a better relationship.
Yeah, there's more trust.
Right, more trust.
It's open, transparent, it's ethical.
It really is.
How else has your marketing changed at all? Have you added any certain activities that you're doing now that you weren't doing before?
One of the things that's working well for me right now is LinkedIn. I had not done as much of it. And then I said, well, how am I going to stand out? Financing is a crowded field. And as some of you may know, a lot of finance experts live on LinkedIn.
Right. And they spam on LinkedIn.
They spam on LinkedIn. Oh, I hate that. That'll never be me, by the way, ever. I'm claiming it right here. And what I was seeing is in financing, the traditional way of showing up on LinkedIn was what's called a tombstone.
Okay.
It's an unusual name. A tombstone summarizes what got done in the deal. So for example, Michelle's book company, $1 million, working capital, whatever. It just says...
So it's like a listing of all the deals you've done from a financial perspective.
Or your specific deal with exactly what we got done for you. Just the objective.
Okay.
And I said, how boring.
Okay.
But that's traditional finance. It has that element that just talks about the technical or the objective or the outcome. I said, wait a minute, what if I tell a story? What if I tell a story about, hey, we overcame these obstacles, or this person, she was having trouble with her mindset, or he was struggling with thinking that he was worthy. Right. What if I tell that story?
So you added in a whole nother layer through the work that we've done together, which was recognizing the value of mindset,
100%.
money stories, limiting beliefs, and incorporating that into the tombstone.
That's it.
Cool.
Right, and leading with that about maybe there was a hard issue we had to overcome, or maybe there was a time where I had an example where it was rejected twice in 2 other settings, but I didn't give up. I was going to keep going until I got the deal done. That has resonated exceptionally well. And now, because also I learned, remember keywords, right? The importance of having keywords in your title.
Okay, so that's another thing that we did together.
Right.
Is we've been looking at keyword research online to find out what are the keywords that your people are looking for.
That's right. And so as a result of that, making a really energized commitment to LinkedIn, I'm getting business off of it.
Woohoo!
A lot of business.
Yay!
And not just end users, but also good new referral partners.
Well, last thing we'll talk about in this is your referral partner strategy. I think that would be really beneficial for people to know. You know, you've always done this. You know, I can't take credit for this. This is something that you figured out a long time ago, is that you've always operated with referral partners. What are those?
Yeah, so for me, everyone, my heritage of why I got into finance, my big reason why was when I was diagnosed celiac, which is gluten intolerance. So the first world of financing that got my attention was serving the gluten-free community. So when you go to a Whole Foods or a type of natural market, you might see several products that are labeled gluten-free. I decided, because I had conversations with them, that if I could support them in financing, that's good for my gluten-free community and good for me.
Yeah.
So that was my big reason why.
Okay.
And so beyond that, the second reason why was when the pandemic came and I knew I could be of service to a lot of people who never thought that this would be something that would be troubling for them or they needed help. But in the financing community for consumer packaged goods, it was dominated by people doing equity financing.
Okay.
Equity. And there was no one focusing on debt or other types of alternative financing. So I knew there was an opportunity, there was a white space in the market, and I went in and I got it.
Okay, but how does this relate back to referral partners?
Because I started getting speaking engagements and I started attending events in the space and people were aware of what I did. So this was mainly other service providers. These are sales consultants, these are attorneys, these are CPAs who serve the founders in that community. And interestingly enough, there are about just only a couple of hundred of these people nationwide, and they all know what I do, and I'm the one person doing it.
So what I think that this speaks to, which I didn't realize initially, was that it speaks to really having a very focused niche.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like they know you because you're the guy that goes to their events and shows up, because you've chosen to focus on it, not from a strategic perspective initially anyway.
No, that wasn't it.
It was heart and soul. It was passion.
That's it. And because I could show up in an energy-rich way with a massive reason why.
Yeah.
A huge purpose. And at the time, gluten-free was trendy anyway,
so it was
right?
on its upswing.
It was in the news. People were talking about it. So I rode that wave very effectively. And what's cool is once you have that referral partnership in place and then deals start getting done, it just reverberates.
Yeah. So what the lesson is for all you is, number one, that branding, that focus, that clarity, and really following your heart first.
Absolutely.
To find that path, and then showing up in service of that specific community, knowing that when you do that and you consistently show up in that market, people will start to know you and start to refer you business.
100%. So I really would encourage all of you to think about, where is that niche that you can own authoritatively? Where can you get passionate about pouring your knowledge, being of service, in contribution, not just selling your products and services, but really showing leadership and thought leadership all around the industry. And that's what has been working for me over the years.
Beautiful. Thank you, Keith. All right. So for those of you watching this and you're curious about working with me, going through this process similar to what Keith has gone through, you can check me out. Check out my website. Sign up for a strategy session with me at superstaractivator.com/go.